Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the conversation series.
Because creators are businesses.
What we do is not simple.
Give, the fans everything that they deserve.
Being creative
is like doing a 5,000 piece puzzle.
Is something that you can learn and do over and over again.
Always be as authentic as I can be.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the conversation series. I am thrilled today to have Keith Heavilin here with me today. I am so thrilled because he is the founder of Yellowfin Digital down in Texas. It is a digital marketing agency that specializes in helping small to mid-sized companies be found online. So incredibly important. I'm excited to have Keith. Keith, thank you for joining me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, I want to jump into first, what was the kickoff moment for Yellowfin Digital and why go start this?
Sure. So Yellowfin Digital was a side gig. Did not intend on starting it for anything long term. Had an opportunity to build a website for a lady, and she wanted to see what my website looked like, and I had to create a company, create a logo, create all the branding, create a website, and I had like 3 days to do it. Pulled it off, got her going, got her website started and launched. She introduced me to a bunch of other people. She was a women's boutique owner, okay. And she introduced me to a bunch of others, and here we are. That was back in like 2017. So here we are, still rocking and rolling.
Word of mouth is the most powerful thing for
100%.
a business owner. It's the greatest thing, especially I sit in a similar seat that I do social media management for people, and I'm like, it is the biggest tool of how do you get your name out there and how do you get the people that you work with to help spread your name as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you can do Google ads, you can do search engine optimization. We do all of it, right? But somebody's saying, hey, you should use this guy. It's worth its weight in gold.
Nothing better. There's nothing better. When you first started and Yellowfin Digital became your main thing that you were doing, mm-hmm. Was there one distinct big challenge that you kind of found right away that you're like, had no idea this was going to be it? Is there one that stands out in your mind?
Yeah, finding the right person to do Google ads was my biggest thing, right? So I tried multiple times, multiple different people, because I could do Google ads. Like I know enough about it to be like really dangerous and not do a good job.
Yeah.
I might accidentally do a good job. It would be an accident. But being able to like get in and see what other people were doing and like dive deep into it was it's not my skill set. Like I'm a serial entrepreneur. I do not have an actual skill set other than typically finding good people to put in the right seat on the bus.
Yeah.
I was having a very hard time with that because it's kind of like hiring a mechanic. I manage some car dealerships.
Yeah.
Hiring a mechanic, I'm not a mechanic. Like you can tell me, like I could talk to you and make you think that I knew how to fix a car, but I don't, right? So finding that person was the biggest hurdle for me at the beginning. Luckily, I was able to get some help from other digital marketing agency owners that I knew, and they helped me find somebody who was actually good because their Google ad guy helped me interview some people eventually and found the right guy.
Nice.
It was tough.
It is hard. I think it's a gift for people who have it to put people in the right seats because it's such a skill that the hiring process just becomes one of those things that it's so tough. Incredibly long and you're like, I don't want to be doing this anymore. I don't want to be doing this.
And as a small business, what happens is oftentimes we rush through it, right? Because like this is a fire. I'm having to deal with it. Like I'm having to fill this hole, plug the hole in the boat, but that's not my actual job. I have to do all this stuff over here. So we rush through it and oftentimes hire the wrong person, right? And then we have the awkwardness of I really need to fire this person, but I don't want to ruin their life. And it's really awkward for me because I don't like confrontation and it gets really bad really quick, right? Yeah. So yeah, it can be tough.
I want to ask the question of you focus on small and medium-sized businesses. Was there a decision for you that you said, this is my group, these are the people that I'm going to work with?
Yeah, 100%. It's because I have a really short attention span. So I'm the only salesperson. I've tried hiring other salespeople. They always try to overpromise what we're able to do, right? So I'm our only salesperson. It's always going to be that way. And I don't have the attention span to do a 6-month RFP process. I don't have the attention span to like sit in front of a board and talk to the board members and like, you should hire me and do a dog and pony show. Like, that's not who I am. I shoot it straight. I am who I am. And either you like me or you don't. And that's fine. If you don't like me, if you don't think I'll do a good job, that's okay. It doesn't, not going to hurt my feelings. But I know that about myself. Luckily, I knew that about myself from the beginning. I can't go after a 500-person company because there's going to be too many people before you actually get to the actual decision maker. And I don't want to deal with it.
Want to act right now, get into the depths of it, not have to mess around with
I want to talk to whoever can pull the trigger and say, hey, here's why you should hire me. Here's why, we're good at what we do. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Do we want to do it or not? Because I just don't chase people very well.
No, I completely agree with you. I don't have the patience sometimes. Like, I have patience, but I don't have the patience for you to kind of, in the nicest way possible, dick around and
100%.
like sit here. Like, I just don't have the time for you to do that.
Run into circles, folks. Run into circles.
I'm like, we got a job we got to get done. Like, this isn't going to get solved if we keep going through these processes.
100%.
Is there a misconception that, and having your entrepreneurship mind on and sitting in the seat that you are, is there a misconception that people come to you about being an entrepreneur?
That's a really good question. I think there's several misconceptions. One is that I think people think it's harder than it actually is.
Okay.
Of course, I've done this a lot. I've probably started 13, 14 businesses between myself and my wife, who's the brains of the operation.
Love it.
And I've helped like friends 8 times. I basically started a business, gave it to them, and said, hey, go put some labor into this and grow it. I figured it out last month. It's $25 million of revenue in those 8 businesses since I've helped them start them, which is all them, right? I helped them start it, but then they got to do the hard work, right? So I think the misconception is that it's a lot harder to actually kick off than what it should be. And, and a lot of times it's money, right? You don't have the money because you have a really grand idea that costs a lot of money. But for what you do and what I do, it doesn't take a whole lot of money, right? Like, we can get started on a shoestring here and just put a ton of work into it, right? So I think that's the biggest misconception, is that it's really hard. I was talking to some guys the other day, 2 days ago, about, they were like, it's harder to start a business now than it was, 20 years ago. And I was like, I don't think so. I mean, I started a business in 2002. It was a landscaping business. It's what I went to school for. I dropped out, but that's what I was going to school for, is landscape design. I had to be in the yellow pages. Internet was a thing, but nobody was really searching online, right? So I had to be in the yellow pages. They screwed up and forgot to put me in. Well, guess what? You can't get back in for another year, right? Yeah. Right now, if I want to start, I can be found today. I can start a business today and be found today, right? Like, in theory. Yeah. So I think it's actually easier. You just got to be smart about it, right? Because it can cost a lot of money if you do it incorrectly.
Yep. I think it's easier, but I think there's so much competition sometimes just in whatever space that you're in. So I think it's important to be really, really honed in on what your services are, how you do them well, and what your business proposition is.
Yeah.
And it makes you sell easier.
What's your value proposition? I mean, why me? Why not the 8 billion other people? I mean, social media, there's a ton of you. There's even more of me, right? Yeah. I mean, there's tons of digital marketers. And honestly, I don't really look at most of them as competition. Like, it's either you like my sales style, you like who I am, and you like the work we do, or you don't. And if not, we're not a good fit. So luckily, we've been blessed that we can say no. Right at the beginning, we were not that. You just got to take what you can get, right?
Yes.
But once you establish yourself and you can actually say no to jobs that aren't a good fit, because just because you can doesn't mean you should, right?
Yeah.
I've learned that lesson many times, and sometimes I forget it. But there's times to say no as well. But once you kind of carve out your own value proposition, your own niche, it makes things much, much easier. Instead of fighting amongst everybody. Yeah.
With the other companies that you have founded with Yellowfin Digital, has there ever been a moment for you of going through these and going, all right, this is working. What we're doing is working. The business idea that we have is going to succeed.
Yeah. So Yellowfin Digital has really been the catalyst for everything that we've done recently
Okay.
because and I was like, man, this like I can remember talking to my wife and going, man, Yellowfin Digital, one, it funds all the other business ideas I
Yeah.
have, and it drives my wife nuts. I try to start a new one every 6 months or so because I get bored, right? Serial entrepreneur, I get
Totally.
bored, so I want to start something new. But it funds all the new stuff,
Yeah.
but also it supports it all in the fact that kind of everything really needs a website, just about, right? Everything needs digital marketing, everything needs all that stuff. So my cost to do all that is extremely low, right? Like I don't have to charge this new business any money at all. Um, so that was kind of an aha moment, like, oh my gosh, like this one business is like the foundation, unknowingly, unintentionally, of all this other stuff that we're building on top of it. And we've done all sorts of crazy stuff.
Love.
And I mean, it's great. I love it because it keeps me entertained. I
Yeah.
like starting businesses. It's fun for me, which is why I've liked helping friends. Like that's actually enjoyable.
That's awesome. Now, growing up, were your parents entrepreneurs? Did it like where did entrepreneurship become the thing for you?
No, absolutely not. So my dad worked for the post office for 38 years before he retired, and he actually came to work for me after he retired. I convinced him to come work for me for a while. But and my mom was so there were seven kids. It's myself and my oldest sister, and we had five adopted siblings. So there were seven kids, and 32 foster kids went through the house. So I mean, that's definitely a full-time job.
Yeah.
Like I have two kids in this. There's no way I could if they yeah, there's absolutely no way. So so yeah, no entrepreneur there and really
Yeah.
nothing in my background at all. I mean I did the mowing the lawns as a kid and paper
Yeah.
out and so on and so forth. But my problem was I thought I was smarter than everybody else.
Yeah.
So in college, I remember working for several companies and going, man, if these managers would just do this, like everything would be a lot better. Like it would just be better. I know it would be. And I had an opportunity to open a liquor store of all things at 20 years old.
Wow.
Did a cash out refinance on a house I purchased when I was 18. Took that $50,000 and put it into opening a liquor store, which is not enough money, in case you're wondering. Even back in 2000 or 2001, that is not enough money, but we pulled it off somehow. Um, but and it's I dropped out of the University of Tennessee, had a full ride, dropped out of the University of Tennessee, opened a liquor store, much to my parents' horror because they don't drink, and I still don't drink. I'd never had a drink then, and still don't drink.
Yep.
But that was it. I was like, man, this is awesome. Like being in charge, being the man. Now, also the problems come with being the man, right? Because all
Yeah.
the problems are yours. But I was all in for it.
And with all of this and the new projects and the new things that you are cooking up every 6 months, is there a point that your wife is like, or even for you, you're like, all right, I need to take a little break? Like, where does the balance come
Yeah.
for you?
Yeah. So the great thing about entrepreneurship, in my opinion, is when I was younger, especially when I opened that liquor store, I had my goals. I want to by this
Yeah.
old, I want to be a millionaire, blah blah blah.
Yes.
And as I've gotten older, and very specifically as I've had children, I've got a 10 and 11-year-old now. My definition of success is no longer the bank account. The bank account has to be able to afford to pay for stuff, right? But the my definition of success is freedom, right? The freedom to do whatever it is I want to do, the freedom to start another company because my team has Yellowfin Digital locked down. They can do everything. We're not going to sell a bunch if I back away, but there's been times where I backed away for 2 or 3 months and just went and bought a house and completely rehabbed it myself because I just needed some time away, right?
Yeah.
So go flip a house. Um, so the kids in their level of busyness is what will make me go, hey, I need to not do that right now. Like that's not a good idea. Let's take it back. Let's take a step back, or even just like let's stop this business over here. It's just a side hustle, so let's just stop it, and we might pick it back up later. We might not. So the kids definitely in their because again, some study that I read a while back said that 75% of the time you'll spend with your children is by the time they're 12 years old.
Wow.
Yeah, like, and I believe it. I mean, looking at my life with my parents, because at some point you just get exponentially busier,
Yeah.
right? You're not spending time with each other, with your kids, and then it's over. So yeah, I want to be able to take advantage of that.
I love that. And then you go off and you create a podcast for entrepreneurs as well. Like, is this just one of those things that you just add as part of, or were you fueled by this that you just wanted to like tell these stories?
So I like talking to people and like learning, because it's, for me, it's always about learning. Like, how's your business work? How's your business work?
Yeah.
What can I possibly learn from that? I have a podcast currently that is only, it's for basically people looking to become entrepreneurs. One, because I'm an entrepreneur in residence at the Texas A&M University, Corpus Christi here. I help people. Don't, there's no charge. You come in and ask me questions. I try to poke holes in your ideas, give you ideas of how you can move forward. So it's a little bit of that. But then also there is some coaching slash, business idea startup stuff that if somebody was interested in, I would help them with, to make money. But this one is much more for fun than to make money, because why not?
I love podcasts like this because it allows you to, like you were saying, really sit down and learn from other people that, sometimes you don't have in your daily life, or you just don't have resources to all the time. It's so nice to be able to hear other perspectives and other things that people have gone through as well.
Yeah, and plus, like, even from the previous podcast, the e-commerce elite, the relationships that continue on from that, and being able to like continue the conversation, learn more, and it might not be something today, but 3 years from now, the conversation is still going, and just it's been a cool experience, because I still talk to some of those people that I had on back then, and it's fun. It's a lot of fun. You meet people that you would never have met otherwise, ever. You and I would never have met.
Absolutely. Now, when you're doing stuff and you offering your time at Texas A&M, or just in general, people coming to you and asking for a piece of advice, is there one that is kind of your go-to, or does it change what advice you hand out to people?
I mean, it just depends on what they're trying to do, right? I have failed so many times at so many different things that I feel like I'm not necessarily going to tell you this is correct, but I can tell you what didn't work for me.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I can tell you, like, I would be careful of doing that because that didn't work for me. And this is exactly what happened. It was complete and utter disaster.
Yeah.
Or, hey, you're on a good road there. Like, let me tell you about how that worked for me when I did something similar to what you're doing. So it's all about, because I talked to some of the kids at the university, and then there's also, 60, 70-year-old people that come in and talk to me like, hey, I got this business idea. So it really just depends on what it is they're interested in, kind of meeting them where they're at and taking the conversation from there.
I love it. Keith, I can't thank you enough for sitting down for me for this quick chat and just let me dive into your background. I can't wait to see what other cool ideas you cook up in the next 6 months.
Absolutely.
Or what else you get started with. I'm so excited.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. You guys, I'm going to have all of Keith's socials down below. Go check out Yellowfin Digital. Go check out more of Keith's story. And as always, I will see you guys back here next time. Bye, y'all.